Are you ready to transform your normal e-commerce business into one that experiences exponential growth year after year using online advertising? If so, this show is for you. Me and my guests will show you how you too can grow your e-commerce business to 7 or even 8 figures so you can go on more luxurious vacations, spoil yourself and your family, say yes to more opportunities, and become financially free so you never have to worry about money again. Welcome to the E-commerce Performance Marketing Show.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Josh Marsden here, host of the E-com Performance Marketing Show. I've got an incredible guest here. I've got 𝐂. Now, 𝐂 is a teacher, coach, and e-learning expert who has helped hundreds of authors, teachers, speakers, and experts launch successful online courses so they can impact more people while making a great living doing it. He's the founder of Launch Academy, a deep dive online training program that helps participants create and launch their A-level online courses to a global audience. He's also an e-learning coach to some of the most well-known global teachers. His clients and students have generated over $4.5 million in revenue from their online courses. So he's going to be a tremendous guest for you today. He's going to show you some things about being able to build a course, start a course, scale a course. So this way you can dive into that as an e-commerce business. So I'm really excited to have 𝐂 here on the show. 𝐂, welcome.
Hey, thank you, Josh. Great to be here with you and your community. Excited.
Yeah, for sure, man. Can you tell the audience like how you got started, like your origins, and how you got to where you're at today?
Yeah, great. Well, Josh, it really for me it started probably about 11 years ago. I was working mostly as a consultant with startups and with small businesses and helping them scale their business. And then one of my clients asked me to join them full time. That company is called Evolving Wisdom, and they were creating e-learning programs, online courses for some pretty well-known teachers around the world. And I was really reluctant to go inside a company, but I was so just taken by their model and what they were doing. And it was pretty new in the online learning arena. If you remember, that's 10 years ago, is almost like 100 years ago in the e-learning space. And so I joined them full time and was their chief marketing officer and their chief development officer. And I kind of basically with Evolving Wisdom got my PhD in how you launch great, powerful, successful online courses. And they became, the husband and wife team there became my mentors and kind of launched me in. And when I left, I decided instead of going back to the consulting and coaching and all that, I decided to create my own business in the e-learning space, helping authors and teachers, experts, people with knowledge to launch online courses.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's great. And you've got now tons of experience that you can lean on, and you've obviously created tons of success stories. What's like the biggest success story that comes to mind right away that you can share with the audience?
Yeah, gosh. Let's see. Well, two. I'll share two. One, the biggest success that I think earlier in my career in the e-learning space was helping Evolving Wisdom go from $500,000 a year in revenue to $8 million a year in 2 years. So, and that was bootstrapped. So it was that was huge in terms of how we scaled the company in just a couple of years. And now it's well over $10 million an annual year company. And then I guess the second one would be saying is that I had the opportunity to help Neale Donald Walsch. He's famous for Conversations with God. He's sold 30 million books worldwide over the last 25 years. And we launched his very first online course and had huge success with that course. We had 1,500 people in his single first course that we launched, and went really well and had great feedback from students. So that was
that's awesome. So you've had like a good range of experiences. You've had someone that was already established making 500,000, helping them get to 8 figures, and you've had people that have worked with you that are brand new, and you've helped them launch and get success.
Exactly. Yep. And then I do say, and I like to say, on the low end scale, we can always talk about the 5 million, 8 million, $1 million launch. But I will say, I just want to say, I've had some students that are brand new to this whole thing. Maybe they had like a book or they were doing some workshops. And I've had some students that I've worked with, gone through my model, who in their very first course have made $60,000 or $70,000. And so here's the thing is, that's not the millions and millions, but that's a single course, brand new revenue from somebody that was not even in the online space at all, like coming from zero knowledge and how to put it all together. So I'm also proud of those ones, Josh. I'm really proud of the ones that may not get the flashy, $8 million thing, but that really changed their lives, changed these people's lives.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can imagine. I mean, yeah, just because, someone that already has a successful business, they haven't quite experienced that freedom yet of like making their own money, you know, making their own paycheck, providing their own living.
Right.
And you know, when you help them do that, it's just a very gratifying feeling.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And for me in the space, I'm particularly in the e-commerce space, I'm in online courses. And what I love is not only the clients, they make money, but their courses are having impact, you know, that they're changing people's lives through their courses. So it just even feeds me even more to see them really blossom in their teaching and their giving their content out there.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, going back to that first example with the 500,000 to 8 figures, you know, what were some of the, you know, strategies or changes or, you know, what are some of the things you did with that client to help them get to that point?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the key strategy that is a base, at least in the online learning space, and it's in other areas of e-commerce, and I kind of teach it as the #1 strategy to start with. And that is to build partners, to build your marketing partners, your joint venture partners, and to start with that. Now, it doesn't mean you can't do later Facebook ads and Google retargeting and yada, 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 but I consider all those things phase 2. And so for really the #1 strategy that we did at Evolving Wisdom and that I've done with my clients is to help them really understand, how do you build those partnerships? What's the best way to approach them? How do you build this idea of mutuality? And you start building out your relationships that help you launch from that ground. And you know this, it's free. It's just your time. You build relationships for life. And frankly, potential partners, Josh, are anywhere in your network. They're not like hiding in the internet somewhere or have some special club that they join. You know, people do think that partners are all like, how could I have a big partner that has a big list? I'm just some little guy. But you'd be surprised at how many people are in your own network that you can reach out to. And that's what I teach, you know, my students and all around that. So that's one.
Awesome.
And two is really be focused. And the focus is this, you're gonna love this. I think you're gonna love this. No matter what you sell online, no matter whether it's a product or it's a course or a program or wherever you're focused, it's so critical that you know your avatar, you know your ideal audience, your especially for audience. And I don't mean it like just marketing data. I mean really investigate their demographics, psychographics, their fears, their frustrations, their aspirations, and their wants. And if you understand that, you're going to be like 10 times more successful in your business and in like online courses and promoting them, because you really know who the audience is and you're focused on that audience rather than trying to sell whatever you have to everyone. So I've through all the years of doing this in the online world, it's really been about focus on that especially for audience. A third one might be I'm going to call it the mindset thing, Josh. So the third key thing is mindset, which is what I call the perfection-free zone. So the mindset is let go of perfection in anything you're creating, especially content stuff like courses. Let go of perfection and just launch. Just launch it and then refine and build and refine and build from there. Too many good people, even significantly well-known teachers, really will get stuck in trying to create the perfect course or get it all right and ready, and they don't launch or they get overwhelmed or whatever it is. So I really encourage people to do that. Let go of the perfection, get in the launch, and then refine from there. That helps a lot.
No, that's awesome. Yeah. So JBs, let's talk about that, because I know that, you know, there's 3 main channels to every business. There's affiliate relationships, paid, organic, essentially. What are some tips for e-commerce companies watching or listening to this that can help them create those relationships? Because I think that a lot of people, for one, if they're new, they don't really know how to approach it, what type of conversations to have, how to position the conversations, what the affiliate relationships look like. And I know we have a lot of listeners like that. We also have listeners that have e-com businesses, but they haven't really tapped into creating affiliate relationships. So, you know, could you maybe expand on that?
Yeah. Couple things. One, I like always, if you're starting in it, like, so if you're new to the arena, like you haven't built partnerships already, let's just go with that, right? It's kind of new and you're starting fresh. You don't already have, because if you already have a bunch, then there's different advice I'd give of how do you then leverage your current community to help you find more folks. But let's just say you haven't been playing the partner game, the affiliate partner game. I think the first thing is I always start with the warm connections. I'm going out into my network of people that I know and asking them, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm up to, this is what I'm selling. Do you know of anybody that I could connect with around this? And would you be willing to make an introduction? So the place is not start with cold leads, not start with, oh, I want to get to that person or this person or Frank Kern or Jeff Walker or whoever. I really want to focus on first is who can get me introduced to somebody that might have a lister following. So that's first, to start with warm, because then you're going to likely get more success, right, Josh? There's likely more connection, and then you success loves success. You build off of that. The other thing is that I teach people to focus on this idea of mutuality. And even this idea of giving first, coming with that mindset. And sometimes it's hard for somebody new in the e-commerce space or new to the online learning space to be the one that gives first. So I get that. But definitely it's like, how can you be more generous at the start rather than asking for lots of stuff? Can I have this? Can you do this for that for me? And so the whole point of this is the idea of mutuality. It needs to be a mutually beneficial relationship over time. So let's say you're getting started. Maybe it is the favor you're asking for support first, and then say, look, I'm building my platform, I'm building my list out. I'd be happy to support you in whatever you're doing later, 6 months from now or whatever. So there is always that mutuality, and it's not that kind of self-centered, I got this great thing and I want you to help me. It's like, how can we support each other? So the focus really is having that conversation of, what are you up to? What am I up to? Oh, I think I could introduce you to somebody there and help you there, and it could be even that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, just being authentic and making win-win relationships and approaching those opportunities with that mindset. So this way, you really cultivate a strong, mutually beneficial arrangement. It's really that easy, because I think that's where it starts. Because after that, then it's just a matter of just talking through the numbers, talking through the specifics. But if you have the right mindset and the other person has the right mindset, then those types of relationships can be fairly easy to materialize, in my opinion.
Yep, absolutely. And then one tip for those that are already playing the game a little bit but want to up the game, and you probably already have done this. We have that mutual relationship with Charles, but the idea of what we call partner swaps, right? Do you know what I mean by that when I say partner swaps? So we get on the phone and we talk, and we literally go through, what are we up to, what are we doing, and then we figure out who are the 5 people that I could introduce you to, and then you kind of think of who are the 5 people that you could introduce me to, and we have this partner swap. So that's somebody, if you've already got partners and working with them, that's a great way to get to the next level of partnering, is doing these actual conscious partner swaps. And I actually realized I got somebody I owe a few partner swaps back. I just remember that. I got to make a note. So.
Yeah, nice, man. Yeah, partner swaps, that's huge. Because the thing is that can lead to some significant opportunities for your business very, very fast. So once someone has, let's just say a book of relationships, then they can really tap into that when they talk to different colleagues in the space. And they say, hey, you want to do a partner swap, because I feel like that I could provide some really awesome partners that would help you in your business, and sounds like you could possibly do the same as well. So it sounds like that could be huge for a lot of e-commerce business owners that are listening or watching to this.
Absolutely. And I've got one story that'll be important for people to hear, is you never quite know who's going to succeed as a partner with you, right? It could be a completely surprise. I just enrolled a new partner, this woman named Lori, who's kind of from the intuition space and medical intuitive, and teaches a lot of courses in that arena, and really kind of esoteric stuff. And I was happy to partner with her, and I thought, well, maybe we'll get a couple sales or whatever on my course on Launch Academy. But this is what's amazing. The very first time we did a co-hosted webinar with her on the webinar with me live, she generated, in just the 1.5 hour call that came out of her community, she generated almost $40,000 for me and made almost $8,000 in commissions in an hour and a half, with a list that was only, I think, about 3,000 was her size.
That's awesome.
I know. She just rocked it. It's like, wow, because her community loves her and trusts her. You know what I mean? And if they were thinking about this at all, they didn't even need to necessarily dig in with me. They saw me on the webinar and they felt me, but then they just signed up, and it just rocked. And I was completely blown away. And that's what can happen as you just test partners and try it, and some will fall off, some will be great. It'll be
Yep.
all over the place. So.
Yep. No, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that. And you said mindset too as one of the things that really help some of your clients that you use as an example in today's episode. And what were some of those like mindset changes that you led those clients to that led to those results?
Yeah, I've kind of mentioned a couple. The perfection-free zone, and the mindset of
that
focus.
one's huge too. So many people get I get hung up too over perfectionism.
I do,
Yeah,
especially in content.
Yeah, it happens to all of us. Yeah. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and then so I get in that too. And then I guess another key mindset, in addition to perfection-free zone and focus, focus who you're offering it to. I guess I would say that it's about really being willing. The mindset is about being willing to really notice your barriers, being willing to notice your barriers to scaling, to growth. So from a pure mindset standpoint, I know that I've worked with a lot of people that are actually afraid if it gets too big, right? It's like too much, or there's too many people, or how am I going to keep up with all these students? And so there is a mindset around being willing to be open to receiving the support as you grow your business, meaning that you don't have to do it all on your own. And there is that quality of mindset that says, if this really scales up, I'm going to lose my life. You know what I mean? I'm going to lose the life that I love, or the patterns or habits I love. And so what that does is keep a lot of people just smaller in their thinking versus, I can really scale this, and I can get the support to scale it. I can find the coaching, I can make things easier on myself. And a lot of people come into Launch Academy with that mindset. They're saying, look, I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I don't want to try to figure this out on my own. I need somebody to guide me through it so I can scale my business to the next level. And then from there, it's that same thing. Where do you go from there? Oh, okay. What are the limitations? What are the negative beliefs I have about getting to that next level? Like, who am I to have a 8-figure business, right?
Yeah. No, for sure.
Right.
Yeah, totally. What do you think is like the root cause of that? Especially in that case of the business owner that you helped go from 500,000 to 8 figures. Like, what was going on in that person's psyche, so to speak, that was holding them back, and what were maybe some of the root causes of that?
Yeah, and I don't think that's a good example, because I think I joined that company to help them grow, but I would say they already had the mindset of big impact. But I've worked with lots and lots of other people, even significant level teachers around this. And I would say the biggest block, and I'm a student of psychology and do a lot of personal development work with myself and others. And I would say that it's the classic core negative belief is that I am not enough. I'm not enough. And who am I to have X, right? Who am I to build this or have this? And so everybody's wherever they are. I mean, somebody might have a $2 million business and say, well, who am I to scale it to X? Somebody might just be making $60,000 a year and still say the same thing as who am I? So it's the same message, but it might be that, as T. Harv Eker used to say, is sort of your money shadow. So what is it about your relationship to money that also might be impacting that negative belief is I'm not enough to have a $1 million business or a $10 million business. So I think a lot of it comes down to that root thing is who am I? I'm not enough. There's better people out there doing far greater things. Why should I even bother? It all comes down to that.
I've heard that from people.
Would you agree? I mean, there might be fear. There's just the fear of it too, just general fear.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, someone comes to mind actually right now because I remember I've told her that you are enough basically, and she has some of that imposter syndrome basically in herself where she doesn't feel like she has the clout, the credibility, the reputation to be able to basically put out a course and serve a lot of people, and she does, and I've been motivating her to take action on that. So yeah, a lot of people they go through that mindset, and even I can even speak for myself a bit where I don't feel like that. I actually feel like quite the opposite. Where I need to get better personally is I just need to create better like blocks of time and really focus my time. Right now I'm just a little stretched thin between the agency side and the program side that I just launched about 45-60 days ago. But yeah, there's plans in the next few weeks for it to like get a lot better, and I'll have a lot more relief of time, which I'm really excited for.
Yeah, congrats on that. And I can relate. My particular area that I need to work on is delegating more and trusting more my team, leaning into my team. I tend to wind up dropping into too much minutia that I'm good at, right? And this is, I know a lot of people, if they've ever read Michael Gerber's work on the E-Myth and other things, is I'm really good at certain things, and some things I really like, but I shouldn't be doing them, Josh. I should be. So for me to really scale is I need to trust more and lean into my team more and really stay focused on what's my highest value and even what excites me most, and
totally.
So, and it's content creation, it's marketing and that kind of thing. And then that's where I go into my perfectionist. So it's the stuff I should be doing, but it's also the stuff where I get more into my perfectionist. So that's kind of my thing, is lean into my team, delegate more, watch my perfectionism, and do the stuff that I'm best at, that only I can do,
I mean, I think that just about every entrepreneur has that challenge, unless they have experience being a business owner or they're just really good leaders and really good at delegating. Because I think I've felt that way too. Where I'm definitely not in that place now, but years ago I definitely was in that place where I always felt like I had to do everything essentially, and I wouldn't relinquish control, and I wouldn't let others do specific tasks or projects. I would have to handle them myself, and every now and then I fall back into that pit, and I have to pull myself back out of it and remind myself that I have a team, I have resources, I need to focus on where my time is most valued in the business to grow the business. And I think a lot of business owners need to remind themselves of that as well, especially after they get to a point where they have more than just time as a resource and they actually have money. Because when you have money, you really have to put it back into the business, into your team, into operations. This way you can ascend yourself into a position that is going to be a higher ROI position, as it should be, after you get to that point where you have the resources to do so.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Nice, man. Nice. I know you had like some strategies that you wanted to go over, and I don't want to, steal your, thunder there. And I know we're getting to the, towards the end of our time here, and I want to be very respectful of your time. So do you want to go ahead and dive into those and share your screen?
Yeah, sure. I'd love to share. So this is what I'm going to share, Josh, is the model that I've built. It's a 4-quadrant model, a 4 essential elements model for launching a great course, a successful, profitable, impactful online course. So I'm just going to share this one slide since we don't have a ton of time. But this is the model that I've developed over the years. It seems super simple, but there's some nuances to it that are really important for how do you create a successful online course. And I believe that all 4 of these things need to be done well and in concert with each other. Like these puzzle pieces, they need to come together. So the 4 areas are transformative content. So there's a better student learning experience, because you always want to create great programs where students become raving fans of what you're doing, and that they're willing to share it with other people, and that they just have a good experience, right? And I will tell you, what I see out there is a lot of crap. And I remember Frank Kern one day had his State of the Union thing. Do you remember the State of Our Business? Frank Kern would do that.
I kind of remember that, yeah.
With his he would have a suit and tie on and everything. And, and he's one of the godfathers of the online marketing world and all that. And Frank Kern looked in the camera at the start of his whole thing, and he says, I got one thing for you. I got one thing, and I want you to hear this clearly. And he says, make great products. Make great products, And he was great, because he was saying, yeah, you can get all markety, you can get kind of clever with your marketing, you could be disingenuous, and you can kind of oversell something. And he said, create great products. So my transformative content piece is create programs, no matter what your content area is, that transforms people's lives, that take them from one way of being to another. This is not informational products. This is transformational programs or products. We don't need more info products. We don't. Some of those can help. You got ebooks and you got books and you got stuff, but courses should change lives. So that's key. And then I have a model of how you do that, and I teach that in Launch Academy. How do you create it so it's transformative in nature? And then the other one is enrolling messaging. And this is between the content and the marketing. Most course creators make a huge mistake. They just throw up their content hey, I think this is really good. Now, how do I go market it? And what they really forget, and we talked about this earlier, is to really do the messaging work about attracting the right students to your experience. That is doing the work on your avatar. In the marketing world, we call that your persona or your ideal customer or whatever, but your avatar is literally a person, Susie the avatar, who you're writing to. Dear Susie, here's your aspiration, here's the problem, the diagnosis, solution, desired future state, promise. That's what I teach, is this way of talking to that avatar that really draws them in. And that's enrolling, that draws them in. So when you have that, that's the creative work. That's the black box that nobody does unless they've learned the model about it. People don't just instantly go, oh, yeah, I'm going to do this whole process of the authentic messaging blueprint and I'm going to talk to my avatar in this way. Usually it's just using their instinct and they're just saying, hey, I'm going to share my course and I'm going to talk about it like everybody should take it. And that does not work. And you don't sell courses that way. And then, of course, then the next thing, once you have your messaging, then you can be doing the effective and converting marketing to fill up your course. Only when you have a great program with great messaging, because then you can start doing the work. And that's JV partners, like you said, social media work, organic traffic, and then paid traffic, right? So you got the model there. And I do think that partners is phase one, and then the other stuff is sort of phase two, even if it's after just one launch, just so you get it down. And others would disagree with me. That's just my model. I don't want people spending a ton on Facebook ads when they barely know if their content is good. Right. Or if they really have the right students, if they're new to the whole game, right?
Totally.
And then engagement-oriented technology is really being thoughtful about the technology you're using so it's easy on you, that doesn't make it more complicated, and you're not trying to piece together 5 different platforms to kind of make it all work. So I teach that. Nice. So all of those have to be synergistically working together. And that's kind of my model. My model I teach in Launch Academy, and we go a lot deeper with all of those, and as well as other things around launch campaigns and all that.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, I know that there's going to be people watching or listening to this that are right away wanting to learn more, to find out more about how they can build a successful, course online, and they can also scale it to some significant numbers so they can impact a lot of people. So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit, but then we'll go through a bonus round that I have in mind here for you. But how can someone that just heard that or watched that, how can they, after this episode, how can they take action and find out more about Launch Academy?
Yeah, thank you. Well, 2 ways you can find just more about me in general at chriskyle.com. But if you want to learn more about Launch Academy, go to Launch Academy Course, all one word, launchacademycourse.com, and you'll learn all about the program there. And you can even register now. Enrollment's open, and you can sign up for Launch Academy. Or book a little session with me if you want, if you need to talk to me for 15 minutes about it. So it's all on that page, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, sounds good. Well, let's go into the bonus round. So this is a fun little bonus round to end the episode. And this is where I'm going to ask you 4 different questions. Okay. And you have to answer each question with only 1 word.
1 word? No way. Can I have hyphens between the words, bro?
I'll let you stretch the rules a little bit. It's fine. This is supposed to be fun anyway.
I've got one with a hyphen.
Oh, yeah, totally fine. So what caused your biggest e-com success to date?
1 word. Wow. Coaching.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. What advice do you have for other e-com business owners?
Focus.
And then how would you describe yourself?
Curious.
And then what do you see in your future?
Ooh. This will be the hyphen one. Bigger hyphen impact. Bigger impact.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, that works. I'll let it pass.
We could just go with impact. But bigger impact. Yeah.
No, bigger impact's better. Sounds good. Yeah. Awesome. Well, Chris, if you could tell the audience one more time where to go to find out more about Launch Academy and also to speak with you directly.
Yep, great. Thanks, Josh. So go to chriskyle.com. You can also go to the contact me in that way if you want to book a time. So chriskyle.com, or go right to the Launch Academy page, the info page at launchacademycourse.com. There's also a button at the bottom there where you can book a 15-minute free discovery session with me to learn about Launch Academy and see if it's right for you. So that's
awesome. Okay. Sounds good. Well, Chris, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. And this episode was awesome. It was powerful. It's going to help a lot of people start their online businesses using courses. Yeah. And on top of that, there might be some people that already have courses that are listening to this, and they just want to get some help in scaling it further. And you're the man. So definitely reach out to Chris, guys, if you need some help with your course, whether you want to create one or whether you have one. Chris is an awesome guy, and he's had tremendous success over the past several years. Thank you so much, Chris, for being on this episode. I truly appreciate it, man.
Great. Thanks, Josh. Great to be here with you.
Thank you for tuning into the e-commerce performance marketing show. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment with a timestamp of your favorite part and share it with a friend. Until our next episode, here's to you and the success of your e-commerce business.